Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Weekly Disney. I am your host, the Disney Dude, and let's get right into the news. So, fall season is in full effect. It is kicking into full effect at the Disney parks. So, as you may know, the holidays, or at least the seasons, are taken very seriously at the Disney parks. And even though it's not even the fall, their fall seasons are fully in effect, with Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party already started for select dates at Walt Disney World in the Magic Kingdom, and the Food and Wine Festival is currently going on at Epcot in WDW, which means Walt Disney World, and in Disneyland, their overlays have just started to be put into attractions. So, Haunted Mansion Holiday is now up and running. If you don't know what Haunted Mansion Holiday is, it's a holiday overlay, as in the name, that Disney puts onto the Haunted Mansion with a Nightmare Before Christmas theme to it. I don't know why they do it there and not here. Actually, there is a reason. It's because they get a lot more locals at Disneyland than they do here. They get a lot more tourists who are coming for their one-year visit, coming to WDW, and there may be people who might be mad that their favorite attraction isn't the same or isn't running at the time, because there is some downtime for these attractions that get holiday overlays, and they're down for quite some time. So they close like maybe mid-summer to whenever they open, and they turn into something awesome. Like Space Mountain is turned into Space Mountain Ghost Galaxy. I currently, at this moment, have not been on any of the holiday overlays because I am a Florida resident, so I go to Walt Disney World a lot more often. And I haven't been at Disneyland in the fall, so I have not seen these holiday overlays. And they're really cool too, at least I've heard. And all the characters are in costumes at night, and it's just a real fun time at the parks during Halloween and Christmas. And for Christmas, It's a Small World also gets a holiday overlay called It's a Small World Holiday. Again, with that name that really just tells you, oh yeah, this is a holiday overlay. But I've heard that it's really beautiful during the time of the holidays. There's no specific theme to It's a Small World Holiday, but it definitely does have more red and green and a bunch of other kind of Christmassy elements to it. And also here in Walt Disney World with Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, the rides here are kind of getting overlays, but not so much. Like in Space Mountain, they have it's just pitch black. Like Space Mountain is already dark enough on a regular day, but apparently this year for Mickey's Not So Scary, they have it completely pitch black and a new soundtrack, which is new for Disney World because this is like the only kind of overlay that any attraction in Disney World has had, if it hasn't been years. And then on the outside, there's just some projections and stuff. And for the Haunted Mansion, there's not a big overlay for the Haunted Mansion. It's mostly just a lot of colors outside. Mostly just a bunch of colors outside, like purple, green, orange, the normal Halloween colors that you would find. And these only take place during the Halloween party. So if you're there during the day, on a day of the Halloween party, you won't see it. It's a Halloween party exclusive. So if you want to see these overlays, then you're going to have to go to the party, which is a separate admission ticket. It does not come with a normal day ticket. You have to pay separate for that. And at Epcot in Walt Disney World, they're currently having their International Food and Wine Festival, which happens every fall. Now, I have covered before, I think, that the Wonders of Life closed down for some refurbishment. It wasn't some extensive refurbishment, it was mostly the outside to make it look good, and it is now reopened as the normal festival center for the Epcot Food and Wine Festival and the rest of the festivals that happen at Epcot around the year, which are the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival and the Festival of the Arts and holidays around the world. They'll have the Wonders of Life or former Wonders of Life building open for those times. And they have some new treats for you at the Food and Wine Festival. Like, in the American Pavilion at the funnel cake stand, you can find a maple bacon cupcake. Or, no, not cupcake, funnel cake. And me personally, I am really excited to try this one. Because maple bacon, all you need to hear. It has candied bacon on top. It's a normal funnel cake with maple syrup and maple ice cream on top. And then topped with candied bacon. Now tell me that doesn't sound cool. It sounds very delicious and fantastic. But yeah, holidays are well, not really holidays, I guess you could say Halloween and fall. They are in completely full effect right now, and quite early, I have to say. Very early. Like they started in the middle of August. Like this isn't a new thing, but this is the first time I've been covering it, because September kind of leads into fall, and I thought I'd cover it when fall is actually starting to transition in. But yeah, tell me what you think of the holidays or fall holidays getting in full effect at the parks, and tell me what you think that, if you've ever been to any one of these fall offerings, or if you've ever been to, let's say, the Halloween party. Lots of people have. I haven't ever been. I know, so sad. But I have not been to Mickey's Not So Scary. And there's a lot of things I'd like to check out for Mickey's Not So Scary, like the Boo to You Nighttime Parade, the Hocus Pocus Live on Stage Villains Show, and Hollow Wishes. It's just really cool. Also, Mickey's Not So Scary is also a time when you can meet special characters that aren't there during the day. Like Lotso Bear, he's there at night, and you can see other villains and stuff that you wouldn't see during a normal day at the parks, excuse me. And there's just you can go trick-or-treating, you can be in costume, because normally adults can't be in a costume at the parks. So this is an opportunity to go to the Magic Kingdom in a costume. So, I think Mickey's Not So Scary is really special and kind of a good experience to check out at least once in your life. Tell me what you think of these new fall offerings for the fall, and tell me whether, if you've been to these offerings, if you have liked them or didn't like them. I don't think many people wouldn't like them, because Halloween is a really cool holiday. But yeah, tell me what you think in the comments. We have no rumors to talk about in this week's Weekly Disney, so there won't be any rumor section today, but we will transition right into the movies. And now for the movies. So in movies news this week, or over the last few weeks, we now have, High School Musical, the live-action show that is going to be on the exclusive Disney streaming service, is in production at this moment. and so is Lady and the Tramp, the live-action remake. I don't know why Disney is doing so many remakes of their classic movies. And personally, I don't like the Lady and the Tramp that much. Not a big fan of dogs. So, I've never seen the original. I know, what a shocker. A Disney fan hasn't seen the Lady and the Tramp. But maybe this will change my mind. I don't believe it will. But, there's a chance. These live remakes have been really good over the past few years, starting with the Cinderella and the rest of the remakes, such as Beauty and the Beast, and the rest of the ones that are coming out next year, such as Dumbo and The Lion King and Aladdin. Next year is really going to be a big live-action year for Disney. They have so many blockbuster films set to release next year. Live-action blockbuster films that are set to release in 2019, and I don't think that they won't do good, because these live-action remakes have been doing really good. They're good movies, and they've also been performing pretty well at the box office. They haven't been the best at the box office, but they are still doing pretty well. Disney is still making a profit on them, and that's all that matters when it comes to movies. And another thing is, by the way, the High School Musical live-action TV show, exclusive to the Disney streaming service, will not have all your favorite Wildcats. There will be no Zac Efron. Sorry for all you Zac Efron fans out there, but there won't be any Zac Efron in it. Maybe he'll make a cameo at some point, but he's not the main focus of the story. This is a complete new set of Wildcats that will hopefully take us through this amazing musical journey, which new details. There will be at least one new song, newly written song per episode for the show, and then there will be a remake or cover of all the original songs you love in each episode, at least one. Actually, probably only one, because it's not going to be a very long series. They might renew it for a second season, depending on how it goes, but there aren't many details, so we don't know if this can go anywhere else, or if it's just going to stay to the 10 or 12 episodes that they already have planned for the first season. And I've said this before, but you will not be able to get this anywhere else. It is a Disney streaming service exclusive, and you can only get it on there. So if you're a big High School Musical fan like I am, and you want to see this live-action TV show, then when it comes out, you're going to want to subscribe to the Disney streaming service, which has a tentative name of Disney Play. I covered that already. I think it might have been in my past video, but I still covered it nonetheless. And in other movie news, Mary Poppins Returns has gotten new promotional footage, or not footage, but has gotten a new promotional photo, really emphasizing the fact that Lin-Manuel Miranda is in this movie. It's been pretty obvious since the beginning that Lin-Manuel Miranda is in this movie, but in this promotional photo, it looks like they're really trying to put it out there so they can probably get all those Hamilton fans out there, like me. But yeah, I bet you a lot of people will go to see this movie just because of Lin-Manuel Miranda and his work on Hamilton, or his creation of Hamilton. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen with, I don't know how Mary Poppins Returns is going to do at the box office, but I think because, Lin-Manuel Miranda is clearly in this movie, there will be a lot of Hamilton fans lining up at the door to come see him. Because even though people haven't seen Hamilton, they are still going crazy over it. And as you may or may not know, it's impossible to get tickets. It's expensive, and it's very impossible to get tickets. So, maybe they'll try to see if they can just get the tiniest bit of Hamilton from Disney. I doubt that they will, but you know, there still might be the Hamilton fans that come in to see Mary Poppins Returns. So that is it for the movies, but now on to questions or comments section. Lena One Awesome says, I really like Gravity Falls. It was really disappointing to hear it went off. My favorite character was definitely Grunkle Stan. You are doing a really good job on your vids. Thank you. And I really enjoy listening to your videos each week. Thank you, Lena, for the comment, and thank you for the support you've been giving to the channel. I really appreciate it. Because there's, I mean, you don't have to comment on the videos, but she took the time, and the other person who commented, who I'm about to mention, they take the time to, you know, ask a question, whether it's about me, the channel, Disney, anything I can answer, I will, or just in general comments, like say, you're doing a really good job. It doesn't have to be a question. So, thank you, Lena. Thank you for the support, and I hope that you will continue your support of the channel. So, thank you very much. And, our next commenter, Adrian Studdard, says, hey, Disney dude, what's your favorite Disney movie? Now, that is a very tough question, because there are massive amounts of Disney movies, so I'm probably going to boil it down to about 3. And the way I'm going to boil it down is whether era of Walt, is the era of Walt created movies, which is stuff like Cinderella, the stuff you know, the stuff that everyone should know, and if you don't, get some help. Just kidding. But I'm talking about the real classics. Like sometimes when people think of Disney classics, they'll think of The Lion King and Aladdin, which they are classics. But I'm talking about the real, true classics of Disney. And my favorite from that era is Peter Pan. Because Peter Pan is just a really good story, and the way that Disney tells it, it's just really good. And I love the music. The plot of Peter Pan is really good. Never growing up. I wish I could do that. But, you know, everybody has to grow up at some point. Can't escape it. Unless you're Peter Pan, and unless you're a flying teenage boy, and you can fly, you're probably not growing up. So that's from the real classics. And now on to the Disney Renaissance era. My favorite from that era is most definitely The Lion King. Now, if you guys have been on the channel for a while, or been subscribed for a while, you probably have seen my Disney bracket, my Disney Pixar bracket, and if you watched all the way through, I doubt many people actually did watch all the way through, but for those people who did, The Lion King eventually won, because The Lion King is just a classic. The Lion King has a really good cast behind it, and there is so it's pretty much Hamlet, The Lion King. If you don't know what Hamlet is, I don't know what it is either. I just know the name and that William Shakespeare wrote it, but when I think of Hamlet, I mostly think Lion King, because I don't really know the whole story of Hamlet, but I just think Lion King, because, you know, lions and kings. Yeah. So, from the Disney Renaissance, The Lion King is definitely my favorite out of that era. A close second would probably be Aladdin, but The Lion King really just takes the cake for me. So, yeah. And then from the latest era, I'm going to call it the Disney Revival era. This is after the Renaissance and when Disney is building up their catalog. This is where I really get stumped because there are so many. There are so many movies from this era being churned out every year. Like you have Star Wars, you have Marvel, you have the Pixar movie, the annual Pixar movie. You have the annual Walt Disney Animation Studios movie. And it's just really crazy. Also, there's also the Walt Disney Pictures division that has an annual movie, which actually has 3 movies coming out next year. So there's just a lot to take in and consider because this era, the revival era, has so much depth to it. Probably from the animated side, I would probably say that it's probably Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph has been, or is a really good movie, and has a really good cast to it, and, I love Wreck-It Ralph because, well, it's video games. I love video games outside of Disney, and it really just hits home for me. I don't have that much to say about it because it kind of explains itself, Wreck-It Ralph, and video games, and they're actually coming out with a second movie, Wreck-It Ralph, Ralph Breaks the Internet, which is coming out, this November, actually. Wait, this November? Yeah, I think it's this November. And they have, and it's where pretty self-explanatory, Ralph breaks the internet. So yeah, probably from the animated side, it's Wreck-It Ralph. And then from the live-action side, I have to choose at least one live-action movie from this era because there's just so many. But from live-action movies, it's probably, I'm gonna say the live-action Beauty and the Beast. That's probably the best live-action movie that has come out of this era, and will come out of, actually, I won't say will, because there's a live-action Lion King coming out next year, so, I won't bet money on that staying my favorite, for the long haul, but for the time being, that's my favorite live-action movie from the revival era of Disney. And so, that's it for this week. Thank you, Adrian Studdard, for commenting. Thank you, Lena, one awesome. And, thank you for the support you give to the channel. Sorry this is a late upload. I had things to do. I usually upload earlier, but it's really getting tough, these days. Because, you know, everybody has stuff to do at some point. And these schedules are just getting pushed back, and I'm just scrambling for time to record these videos and edit. So the late upload won't be a normal thing. It's just today was just really crazy, and I didn't have enough time to upload it earlier. So it will be back to its regular early-ish time. And, like, share, subscribe, comment. Tell me what you think of the movie news, the Disney Parks news. Tell me what you think about the fall in full force at Disney. And leave a like, share, subscribe, comment. Do all that juicy stuff down below. And I have been the Disney Dude. This has been the Weekly Disney, and I'll see you next week.